My sister-in-law spiked my drink at her wedding, hoping I'd embarrass myself, but then tried to blame me for sabotaging her wedding and her silly prank because her brother ended up drinking from it instead and landed himself in the hospital over a lethal dose. Now she's claiming I'm ruining brother-sister bond because my husband is planning to sue. I, 27 female, have been married to my husband, Josh, 30 male, for 3 years. His sister, Ella, 25 female, has never liked me. She always made it clear that she thought I stole her brother. I don't even know where that came from since Josh and I started dating years after he moved out of the house, and Ella was already in college. But somehow in her head, I became the villain. She always gave me passive-aggressive comments, left me out of family pictures, and rolled her eyes when I tried to contribute during family events. I always tried to be polite and civil, mostly for Josh's sake. He didn't have the closest relationship with Ella, but he still loved her and wanted her at important life events. He didn't notice half of what she did to me or just brushed it off as her being immature. I let most of it go over the years. I figured eventually she'd grow up. When Ella got engaged last year to Tom, 28 male, she announced it during a family dinner and immediately looked at me while making a snide comment about how some people just get lucky with love. I ignored it like I usually did. I even offered to help with the wedding planning, and she just smirked and said she already had enough help. Fast forward to her wedding a couple of months ago. Josh and I attended even though I honestly didn't want to be there. Ella was cold to me from the moment we arrived. She barely said hello and didn't even bother introducing me to some of her friends who were standing nearby. But again, I told myself to keep my head down and let her have her day. During the reception, I grabbed a glass of what I thought was lemonade from the table and walked away. I didn't drink it immediately since I was helping an older guest get to her seat and then ended up chatting with Josh and his cousins. At some point, I left the glass on our table and walked away for a bit to find the restroom. When I came back, I couldn't find my drink, and Josh handed me a new one he had picked up. We sat down to eat, and everything seemed fine until I noticed Josh was not looking so good. He was sweating and shaky, kept rubbing his eyes. I asked him what was wrong, and he said he felt dizzy and nauseous. He got up to go to the restroom, and minutes later one of his cousins came running in saying Josh had collapsed. It was chaos. Someone called an ambulance, and the whole reception turned into a panic. I rode with Josh in the ambulance, and the doctor said he had ingested something that caused a serious reaction. Later, we found out it was a dangerous dose of a drug often used in party scenes, something you'd never expect to find at a wedding. I was terrified. Josh was in the hospital for 2 days, and during that time, the police came to ask questions. They found the glass he drank from and started investigating, and that's when things got really weird. Ella texted me accusing me of bringing something to ruin her wedding and make it all about myself. I didn't even know what she meant until Josh's mom told me that Ella was telling everyone I tried to spike my own drink to get attention. I was shocked. First of all, I hadn't even drunk from that glass, Josh did. Second, why would I ever do something like that? Josh could have died. The whole thing made no sense until one of the waiters at the venue came forward and mentioned seeing someone messing with a drink at our table. After some pressure, he admitted he saw Ella pour something into a drink and laugh with one of her bridesmaids. Apparently, it was supposed to be a prank. Ella had planned to spike my drink with some sort of drug that would just make me act weird or drunk. She thought it would be funny if I embarrassed myself on the dance floor or did something foolish in front of everyone. She never thought Josh would end up drinking from it. I couldn't believe it. That wasn't a prank. This was dangerous. The dose that ended up in the glass could have killed someone. It almost did. Josh had to stay in the hospital while they monitored his heart, and even now, he's going through tests to make sure everything's okay. But the worst part, Ella still wouldn't admit fault. She kept saying it was a joke and that I must have switched glasses on purpose to ruin her wedding and frame her. She even tried to convince her family that I was trying to get revenge on her for all the past tension between us. Josh's parents were horrified, especially his dad. His mom tried to stay neutral at first, but after the hospital stay and the waiter's statement, even she couldn't defend Ella anymore. Some of Ella's friends unfollowed me on social media, probably because of the rumors she spread, but I didn't care at that point. Ella ended up being questioned by the police, and while I don't know what's going to happen legally, her new husband looked completely done with her by the end of it. I heard from someone that he had no idea she was planning anything like that and was furious she'd put everyone in danger. Josh and I haven't talked to her since the wedding. He's trying to process everything, and I think it really hurt him that his own sister would do something so reckless and then blame me when it went wrong. After everything that happened at the wedding, Josh spent a lot of time trying to understand how things got so bad. He didn't want to believe his sister could be so careless with someone else's safety, especially his. But when the hospital results came back and the waiter confirmed her involvement, there was no more denying it. We didn't hear from Ella for a couple of weeks after Josh was discharged. Josh needed that time anyway. He wasn't just recovering physically, he was mentally drained. He barely spoke, barely ate. The idea that his own sister, someone he used to play with as a kid, would do something that could have ended his life broke something in him. He kept reading the doctor's report over and over again. He asked the nurse how much longer his heart would take to go back to normal. He Googled the drug she used, trying to figure out what her plan was, what she thought would happen. He kept saying it didn't make sense, like if he said it enough times, maybe it would suddenly start making sense. Then the police followed up. They weren't pushing to press criminal charges, but they did say that Josh had the option to file a civil lawsuit. We hadn't planned on doing anything at first, but after a few weeks, Josh started to change his mind. He said it wasn't about revenge. It was about holding her accountable. She never apologized. She never even admitted it was her fault. She acted like she was the victim, like she was the one whose life got ruined because her prank didn't go the way she wanted it to. Josh said if they didn't do anything, she'd do it again, maybe not to him, but to someone else. And that scared him more than anything. So he contacted a lawyer. I didn't push him to. I didn't say anything. Honestly, I wanted him to do what felt right. The lawyer said we had a solid case, especially with the medical reports and the witness statements. Josh decided to move forward. That's when the drama started again. Ella must have found out through the family grapevine because one afternoon Josh got a long message from her. I didn't read the whole thing, but he showed me parts of it. She was begging him not to sue, saying it would destroy their family, that it was his fault their bond was broken, and that he was choosing me over blood. She claimed it was all being blown out of proportion, that it was a silly prank, that she never meant to hurt anyone, that suing her was cruel, that she was his baby sister and he should protect her, not punish her. Then she turned it around and said that I must have put him up to it because he would never do this if I wasn't in his ear. I could feel my blood boiling when I read that part. It was like nothing had changed. She still thought I was the villain. She still refused to take any responsibility. Even after everything, even after Josh spent days in the hospital, she thought I was the problem because I married him, because I didn't let her treat me like garbage for the last 5 years, because I didn't just laugh it off when she tried to drug me. Josh didn't reply. He blocked her number, but that didn't stop her. She started texting his mom and dad, saying she was heartbroken and scared. She said she was going to lose her house and that Tom might leave her, that she couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. She posted cryptic things on Instagram like sad selfies with captions about betrayal and family turning into strangers. Then the guilt tripping started. Josh's mom called and asked to meet him alone. She said she wasn't picking sides, just wanted to talk. I told him to go if he felt okay with it. He came back quiet. She hadn't yelled or pressured him. She had just asked if there was any way to solve this without dragging it to court. She said she was worried the family would never be the same again, that maybe Ella would learn her lesson if they just talked it out. Josh asked her if she believed Ella had done it, and she didn't answer him. After that, he told the lawyer to keep going. We weren't asking for anything huge, just the medical bills, therapy costs, and a clear statement from her side acknowledging what happened. But even that was too much for her. Ella's husband, Tom, finally messaged Joshua. His message was surprisingly calm. He didn't deny anything. He said Ella had told him everything and he was trying to get her to understand the seriousness of it. But he also said that a lawsuit would ruin them financially, that they had just gotten married, and that he was already sleeping in the guest room. And he begged Josh to reconsider. That message actually hit Josh harder than anything else. He said he didn't want to ruin someone's life, but he also didn't want to pretend this never happened. He asked me if he was being heartless. I told him, no, that people who refuse to learn from their mistakes don't just magically become better when you give them more chances. That week, Ella started calling his friends. One of them texted me and said Ella was telling people I had tricked Josh into suing her, that I was obsessed with revenge, that I hated her from the beginning, that I was jealous of her wedding. Another friend of Josh's said Ella was trying to get people to talk to him and convince him to drop it, like this was some kind of group project. I knew Josh was stressed. He wasn't sleeping well. He was having nightmares again. But he also said it felt wrong to let it go, that if he let it go, it would be like saying what she did was just a harmless joke. He asked me what I thought again. I told him the same thing. I wasn't going to speak to Ella, and I definitely wasn't going to tell him what to do, but I supported him if he wanted to follow through. Then his mom invited us over for dinner. I said no. Josh went alone. It was tense. Ella was there, of course, and she cried a lot. She said she missed him. She said I changed him. She said she couldn't believe he was doing this to her, that he was destroying their bond over a little mistake. She didn't mention the hospital or the drug or the fact that she lied for weeks and tried to blame me. Josh didn't say much to her. He told his mom the lawsuit would continue and left early. Later, his mom sent a message saying she was disappointed in both of us, that family should forgive, that family doesn't sue each other, that outsiders don't understand the importance of sibling relationships. That word outsiders made me so angry. I've been part of their family for years. I took care of Josh when he was at his worst. I cooked for them, helped them plan birthdays. I attended every boring family function. And now suddenly I was an outsider because I didn't want my husband to die over a joke. Ella hasn't stopped. She's now posting stories saying people are trying to tear her family apart. Her captions are full of stuff like real love forgives and sisters and brothers should always be forever. People are starting to comment things like he needs to move on or wow his wife is toxic. I haven't responded. Neither has Josh, but it's hard to see the lies spreading like that. His cousin even asked me if we were sure the drink was meant for me, not Josh, as if it mattered, as if that would change the fact that she drugged someone and someone almost died. Josh's lawyer is preparing the paperwork now. Ella hasn't offered to pay anything or take any real accountability. Her Instagram still looks like she's the one who was wronged. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if this is going to destroy their relationship forever. But I know Josh isn't the same anymore. He looks tired all the time. He doesn't smile much. He doesn't even talk about the future like he used to. He told me he feels like he's grieving a person who's still alive. And maybe he is, his sister, the one who tried to poison me, the one who accidentally poisoned him, and the one who still won't say sorry. Now his mom won't speak to me at all. She says I've created a wall between her kids, that Josh used to be softer, that I've turned him into someone cold and unforgiving. She says I should convince him to stop the lawsuit if I really care about his family. But I care about him, and he could have died. Ida for supporting my husband as he sues his sister, even if it's ruining their relationship forever? Update 1. Things have gotten worse since we moved forward with the lawsuit. Ella started spreading lies about me to anyone who would listen. At first it was just social media stuff, vague posts about betrayal and fake people. Then she started saying I faked the entire story, that I planned the whole thing to ruin her wedding and her life. She told people I pressured Josh to go to the hospital and made everything sound worse than it was. She even said I tampered with the drink myself so I could blame her and get attention. Some of Josh's extended family started acting weird around us. A few of his cousins unfollowed me on social media. One of them posted a comment under Ella's post about snakes hiding behind sweet faces. Another one liked the post where Ella claimed someone was trying to steal her brother and tear her family apart. I didn't respond to any of it. I just blocked them and moved on. Then Ella posted a long story tagging her close friends and said she was being harassed and emotionally attacked by someone in the family. She said she felt unsafe, that she was being dragged into a lawsuit she didn't deserve, and that people were trying to destroy her happiness. She didn't use my name, but everyone knew it was about me. Someone screenshotted it and sent it to me. After that, things started happening offline too. One morning, I noticed Tom sitting in his car across from our house. He didn't get out. He just sat there for about 20 minutes and then drove off. It happened again the next day. Josh saw him the third time and walked out to ask what he was doing, but Tom drove off before he could reach him. Then I started getting weird messages from unknown numbers. Some were just insults, people calling me names, accusing me of being a gold digger, saying I was using Josh. A couple of them said I would regret trying to ruin a woman's life over a little mistake. One message said, "You'll pay for what you've done." We reported it, but the police said unless the messages were threatening harm or coming from someone we could identify, there wasn't much they could do. Last week, Ella took it even further. She filed a counter lawsuit claiming emotional distress. Her lawyer sent a letter saying our actions had caused her extreme anxiety, insomnia, public embarrassment, and harm to her marriage. She said she couldn't eat or sleep and that her mental health had been destroyed by the stress of the legal battle. She also claimed we made up the drink situation to punish her for not liking me. She said I'd always had a grudge and was trying to tear the family apart out of jealousy. When our lawyer read it, she said it was clearly retaliation and had little basis, but it still had to be taken seriously. Now we have to spend more money and time dealing with this, and it's exhausting. Josh barely speaks when he comes home from work now. I can tell he feels guilty, like all of this is his fault, but it's not. Then something happened that really freaked me out. I was leaving work one afternoon when I saw Ella in the parking lot. She was just standing there, arms crossed, watching me. She didn't say anything. She just stared until I got in my car. I drove away quickly, heart pounding the entire time. I told Josh, and we reported that too. But again, unless she actually threatened me, there wasn't much that could be done. Josh talked to the lawyer again, and she said these tactics are common when people feel like they're losing control. Ella's side is trying to make us back off by making things uncomfortable, but it only made Josh more determined to go through with everything. I just feel drained. It's been months now. We barely sleep. We barely relax. I jump every time I see a strange car outside. I'm always worried someone else will send another anonymous message or post some half-truth online. Ella keeps painting herself as the victim, and some people believe her. Others stay quiet but stop talking to us. What hurts the most is how easy it was for people to believe the worst about me. I've never been anything but polite to Ella's family. I've stayed out of drama, but now I'm being treated like some manipulative villain who turned a poor innocent bride's life upside down. No one seems to care that Josh almost died. Ella still hasn't apologized. Not even once. Not to me, not to Josh, not even a fake one. She just keeps making this worse. I don't know how this will end, but I'm tired of always being the bad guy in her story. Update 2. In the last update, I mentioned that Ella's lawyer recently filed an emotional distress claim. She said that the lawsuit had ruined her mental health, that she couldn't work, barely left her bed, and was suffering every single day because of the stress and anxiety caused by her brother suing her. She claimed she was being unfairly targeted and painted as a villain. Her statement said she had lost friends, was experiencing panic attacks, and had become isolated from her community. The whole thing felt dramatic, but we expected it. Her goal has always been to make herself look like the victim. But things changed quickly. One of Josh's co-workers saw Ella at a bar with her friends a few nights after she filed the claim. Apparently, she was laughing, drinking, dancing, and acting like nothing was wrong. He didn't even know about the claim. He just thought it was strange considering everything that was going on. He mentioned it casually to Josh the next day. Josh told our lawyers, and we decided to keep an eye out. Then a few days later, another person tagged Ella in a photo on Instagram. She had gone shopping at a high-end mall and was posing in front of a mirror with designer bags. She had makeup done, was smiling, and the caption said something like, "Treat yourself. You deserve it." More photos came out over the next week. One was at a friend's birthday dinner. One was from a weekend trip with her husband. Another was from a nail salon. She didn't even look stressed. She looked like she was living her best life. We collected everything and sent it to the lawyer. And that's when things got more serious. In her emotional distress claim, Ella had signed under oath that she was unable to work, unable to leave the house, and had isolated herself completely. She said she needed compensation for therapy, medications, and loss of income. But all these public posts told a very different story. The court requested more information from her. Her team tried to spin it, saying that she was trying to maintain some normalcy during the difficult time, but it didn't land well. The judge seemed annoyed. He questioned the honesty of her statements and asked for official medical records. Her lawyer hesitated and asked for more time. That raised more suspicion. Then the worst thing happened for her. A video surfaced. It was taken at the bar Josh's coworker mentioned earlier. Someone had posted a short video on TikTok of people dancing, and Ella was right in the middle, laughing and waving at the camera. The caption didn't even mention her. It was someone else's birthday video. But once people noticed Ella in it, the comments blew up. People started calling her out for lying. Some of her followers commented on her old posts asking why she claimed she was too anxious to leave home but was partying all over town. Even some of her family members started questioning things. A cousin who had defended her before sent Josh a message saying they were disappointed in Ella. One of her friends unfollowed her and deleted a post where they had shown support. Our lawyers said it helped our case a lot. If she was lying about emotional distress, the court might doubt everything else, too. The prank, her intent, her version of events. Ella tried to fix it. She posted a long caption saying that sometimes people hide their pain behind smiles and that just because she's in public doesn't mean she's not suffering. But no one was really buying it anymore. The timing was too perfect. The shopping sprees, the vacations, the smiling selfies. None of it matched her sworn statement. She turned off comments on her Instagram. Josh hasn't said much about it. He's been quiet. I think he's tired of all the drama, but I can tell he feels a little lighter, like the truth is finally catching up to her. Her parents haven't said anything either. Not to Josh, at least. I think they're starting to realize she's not the innocent victim they believe she was. We still have a long way to go, but it feels like something has shifted. For once, people are seeing her for who she really is, and she's starting to realize she can't lie her way out of this. Update 3. Things have only gotten worse for Ella. A few weeks ago, her emotional distress claim started falling apart, but now it's completely blown up in her face. She filed a document through her lawyer claiming she was in weekly therapy sessions, taking medications for anxiety and depression. She submitted receipts for therapy and even a doctor's note. The receipts looked weird from the beginning. Our lawyer noticed that the formatting on one of the receipts didn't match any clinic in our area. The doctor's note was typed in a basic font and had no letterhead, and the signature at the bottom looked suspicious. Our lawyer dug deeper and found out that the therapist Ella listed doesn't even exist in the local licensing database. They kept looking and eventually confirmed that the clinic address she provided was for a coffee shop. The therapist's name was fake. It wasn't just lying anymore. It looked like she forged medical records and submitted them to the court. That changed everything. The judge ordered an investigation into her documents. He didn't say much during the hearing, but it was clear he wasn't happy. Ella's lawyer asked for time to respond, but the judge gave a strict deadline. While all this was going on, posts of Ella started popping up. People who used to support her started sending screenshots anonymously. She was seen at a beach party, tagged in a photo from a concert, even posted a selfie with the caption, "Best month ever." One of her old friends even posted a group photo with a sarcastic caption saying, "So much for being bedbound with anxiety." That post ended up being shared by a few gossip accounts, and it got a lot of attention. People started dragging her in the comments. Some of them even used screenshots from her emotional distress claim and compared them to her Instagram stories. It was bad. Her lawyer eventually removed the emotional distress claim from the lawsuit, saying it was no longer relevant. But by then, the damage was already done. Her credibility is pretty much destroyed. People in her circle started backing away. A few of her bridesmaids deleted their pictures with her. One of her cousins who used to comment under every post suddenly unfollowed her. Even her husband Tom has been quiet. Someone who works with him said he looked exhausted and left work early a few times last week. I heard from a mutual friend that Ella is blaming everyone but herself. She thinks people are trying to ruin her life and says this is all a setup to make her look bad. She's still trying to play the victim. She posted a vague story about betrayal and not trusting anyone. Comments were turned off again. Meanwhile, our case is getting stronger. The judge officially dismissed her emotional distress claim, and the investigation into the forged documents is still ongoing. There's a possibility she could face consequences for that part alone. Our lawyer said it could even lead to fines or separate charges if they decide to pursue it. Josh hasn't spoken to her. He doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. Their parents are acting like nothing's happening, which is honestly frustrating. They haven't apologized and haven't acknowledged anything. They keep pretending this is a small misunderstanding even after everything that's come out. I think they're embarrassed but too proud to admit they were wrong about her. They keep sending Josh messages asking him to fix things with Ella before it's too late. But no one's talking about what Ella actually did. This whole situation has been exhausting. But it's also kind of satisfying to see the truth finally coming out. For so long, Ella got away with her fake smiles and sweet words. Now people are finally seeing who she really is, and she can't hide behind her lies anymore.